How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Also, please do me the biggest favor of all. Hit the bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on my channel. And in this video, we're going to be continuing on reading through my book series. And we are here, guys. I am so excited. If you guys watched my overview and introduction video to this book, thank you guys for doing so. And if you guys haven't, I highly encourage you guys to do so. And we are going to be reading The Final War Epic End. This is the third book in the Final War trilogy. This is the epic conclusion not only to the Final War trilogy, but the universe as a whole. So this is, of course, part one. And if you guys want a copy of this book to read on your own or with me, let me know in the comments section. I'll send you guys back an email of a Microsoft Word document. At the time of me recording this video, it is 98 degrees outside, and that's where I'm at. So if you guys hear a fan in the background, it's because I need a fan going so I don't die of heat stroke. But I want to make sure I can get this video rolling and recorded as soon as possible. So I hope you guys enjoy, and with that, let's roll. Chapter 18, Assembling Armies. Year 1990, 4 years before Halo met God and Douglas was born. Before time began, there was the Holy Trinity, my team, and a secret device called the Alpha Lock. I, Optimus Prime, liked the name the Allspark more, but our creator called it the Alpha Lock when we found it. We know not where it comes from, but we know it contains power. For a time, the universe lived in harmony, but like all great power, some wanted it for good, others wanted it for evil. And so began the war, a war that led my team to search for it first, before evil could have it. We searched every planet and every star, hoping to find it to end the war. Soon, after years of wandering the universe and other dimensions, we realized the Alpha Lock was on our home planet, Lambda. Location: the STC-40, Sector 11. As the night ended from being in darkness, light arrived and the sun began shining brightly. Douglas Armstrong, leader of Unit Alpha and the High Corps commander, awoke from his bed in his sleeping quarters. Okay, I gotta back up. Sorry about that. As the night ended from being in darkness, light arrived and the sun began shining brightly. Douglas Armstrong, leader of Unit Alpha and the High Corps commander, awoke from his bed in his sleeping quarters. He got dressed and armored up with his green lightsaber on his belt and a blaster rifle. Douglas left his room, walked through the hallways of his vessel, and entered the command bridge to see the rest of his unit at their positions. Devon Armstrong was sitting in the pilot seat, and Douglas's younger brother. Amy Armstrong was Douglas's wife and was in control of the ship's scanners. Brittany Lewis was Devon's crush and in control of the ship's communications. Chad Taylor was in command of the STC-40's weapon systems. Laura Strong, Peter Arnold, and Ash Becca were the other members of the team that had just left the brutal battle on the planet Macon. Yesterday, Unit Alpha rescued a long-lost friend, Ash Becca, but also lost other friends. Techocliffs were killed, and were Douglas's friends Phil, Paul, and Dale. Even though they lost great friends, the squad of Corps members was able to neutralize Devastator and Nikolai Sith. Douglas sat down in the command chair on the bridge and placed his blaster rifle in a nearby holster. "Devon, what is our current position?" asked Douglas. "We have just crossed into Sector 11 and are still headed for the planet Lambda," replied Devon. "Commander, I noticed that Jack and Andrew Whitson are not on board the STC-40. Are they on a separate mission?" said Ash, having not been with Unit Alpha for several days. "Please just call me Douglas. While you were being held hostage on Sonic and Macon for the past several days during this war, several things have taken place that you should know about," said Douglas. "Such as?" asked Ash. "Jack and Andrew Woodson were killed on the planet Disaster Master Shortly after we abandoned the assault on Sonic, said Douglas. Impossible! Yelled Ash. It is the truth, replied Chad, backing up Douglas. What else has taken place? Asked Ash. Halo Shadow and Darth Upday are the only regime leaders left to eliminate. A group of evil Transformers called Team Doom have joined the regime. However, we have made allies with a group of good Transformers called Team Bravo on the planet Lambda, said Douglas. That is cool, said Ash. We also have been going to planets to hunt for relics and have collected the Book of Power and 6 relic keys to make Halo mortal. The last relic is called the Alpha Lock, hidden with Team Bravo, the Holy Trinity, and a very secretive man that does not tell his name, said Douglas. Is that all? Asked Ash. No. The Corps has about 1,000 humans and 1,000 angels in the uncharted space, against the regime of 3,000 T-180s and 2,000 demons. If you do the math, we have lost many good people in this war, and we're not winning, said Douglas. Douglas, we have just passed the north side of the planet Secton loss, said Devon. We are also getting an incoming voice message, said Chad. Put it on speakers, said Douglas. Commander Douglas, this is God on Lambda. I have a request for your team to not come to Lambda just yet. I would prefer you travel to New Heaven, New Earth, and Delta Mega in the uncharted space to assemble the core army to prepare for the battle on the planet Lambda, said God's voice. The message was ended, and the team looked to see Douglas, wondering if he would accept the request for an army or try ending the war on their own. Devon, redirect the STC-40 towards the uncharted space, said Douglas. While Devon piloted the ship towards Sector 1, Douglas sent a message to the Corps forces on Lambda and informed them that the Tekka-Cliffs, Nikolai Sith, and Devastator were dead, and that Ashbeka was successfully rescued on the planet Matkong. Just as Douglas finished sending the voice message to the Corps forces on Lambda, Chad, Peter, and Laura left the command bridge. Incoming transmission, said Brittany. Put it on speakers for the command bridge only, said Douglas. Everyone on the bridge looked at Douglas and wondered why he didn't want the other members of Unit Alpha to hear the conversation. Brittany obeyed Douglas's orders, and God's voice began talking. I want to inform everyone on Lambda about a growing problem about Chad, Peter, and Laura. They are currently not able to listen to this conversation, and this will allow me to tell you, Team Bravo, the Secretive Man, and you too, Ash, about this issue. I have proof that Chad, Peter, and Laura are using a love triangle as a cover-up against the fact that they are not core members, but are with the regime and are helping supply Halo with information, said Douglas. Be careful about what you say around them, and to keep a close watch on them. I knew that Halo had supporters when he was on New Heaven back in 1994, yet I never thought Chad, Peter, and Laura would turn from good to evil, said God. Okay, my fan just blew my book out of my hand, so I'm going to back up real quick. Sorry about this, guys. I just got your message and thought we should talk, said God's voice. I want to inform everyone on Lambda about a growing problem about Chad, Peter, and Laura. They are currently not able to listen to this conversation, and this will allow me to tell you, Team Bravo, the Secretive Man, and you too, Ash, about this issue. I have proof that Chad, Peter, and Laura are using a love triangle as a cover-up against the fact they are not core members, but are with the regime and are helping supply Halo with information, said Douglas. Be careful about what you say around them, and to keep a close watch on them. I knew that Halo had supporters when he was on New Heaven back in 1994, yet I never thought Chad, Peter, and Laura would turn from good to evil, said God. There must have been something Halo suggested to be better than the Corps, said Douglas. Who are you talking to? Asked Chad, entering the bridge with Peter and Laura behind him. The Corps forces on Lambda, said Douglas. Why wasn't the conversation broadcasted throughout the entire ship? Asked Peter. I'm not sure. Perhaps the system is overheated from being used greatly, replied Douglas. The 3 regime spies sat down in their stations, and they knew the rest of Unit Alpha knew about their true alliance. "I have intelligence to share with all of you while I was on Mekong," said Ash. "Go ahead and tell," said Douglas. "When Devastator came to Mekong, he said he was searching for a hand cannon with the power to destroy entire planets called the Machine. I was forced to tell him, Nikolai, and Darth Update was on Lambda," said Ash. "You know that Darth Update will inform Halo, Cody, Mavis, and Team Doom about the Machine," said Devin. "We will search the planet for it while you continue your way to uncharted space," said God. The conversation ended, and the STC-40 ended the south side of Sector 10. Location: Lambda. As night fell upon the universe, a regime ship hovered above the ground towards the safe regime base. The regime ship had Darth Update and 3,000 T-180s on board, which were the only survivors from the battle on the planet Mekong. Moments later, the ship arrived at the entrance to the underground base with its hatch open. The ship landed inside of the base, and the regime forces exited the vehicle. "Welcome to Lambda, Darth Update," said Halo, greeting his general. "Thanks, Halo. But who is this?" replied Darth Update, greeting Halo's parents. "These are my parents, Cody and Mavis, from New Heaven," answered Halo. Suddenly the ground shook somewhat, and Darth Update turned around to see the evil Transformers the regime had become allies with, called Team Doom. "Say hello to Shockwave, Megatron, Starscream, Knockout, Soundwave, and Dreadwing," said Halo. "Greetings, Darth Update," said Shockwave. "Hello," replied Darth Update. "What happened on Mekong that made you leave in such a panic? Where are my 2,000 T-180s, Nikolai, and Devastator?" asked Halo. "Nikolai, Devastator, and the other 2,000 T-180s were killed at Mekong. Ashbeka was also freed," said Darth Update. "Tell me there is good news with that," said Cody. Halo looked at his father with a look of "shut up and listen," and returned his gaze to the regime general. "Before Devastator was neutralized, he spoke of a relic called the Machine, with a power to destroy planets, and was told it was on Lambda by Ash," said Darth Update. "With it, we could easily put an end to the core," said Cody. "That is for sure. By what? By why? That is for sure. But why stop there? We could use it to conquer the other parts of the universe no one has explored yet. Shockwave, take your team and search for the Machine. Don't return to this base without it, unlike the Alpha Lock," said Halo. "Team, transform and blast out," said Shockwave. The evil Transformers transformed into their flying modes and blasted out of the underground base. Location: the STC-40. As a new day came to the universe, Unit Alpha had finished grouping the 1,000 humans and 1,000 angels from the planets New Heaven and New Earth. The core fleet was in ships and was headed for the planet Delta Mega, home to the humans called Primes. The core fleet arrived at Delta Mega 30 minutes later and hovered above the 12 districts of the planet while headed towards the capital city. If you guys remember Delta Mega and the Primes, that's all from the Delta Force book. So it is important because it does tie in with this. "Devin, land the STC-40 and have the rest of the fleet return to guarding the planet," said Douglas. The STC-40 landed on a platform, and Unit Alpha exited out of their transportation to be greeted by police and a general. "Welcome to Delta Mega, High Commander of the Corps," said the general. "What's your name, General?" asked Douglas. "Jeremy Prime," replied the general. "General Jeremy Prime, please just call me Douglas, and take me to your leader," said Douglas. The general and his police force escorted the armed core forces out of the open area and into a building made of gold. After walking through several hallways and taking an elevator to the highest level of the building, Unit Alpha and the other primes entered a room with a lady dressed in golden robes. "Welcome, Unit Alpha and High Commander of the Corps," said the woman. "He wishes to just be called Douglas, Miss President," said General Jeremy. "As you wish. Please sit, and let's talk," said the woman. The team of 8 members sat down in chairs of gold in the conference-like room while wondering who the woman was that treated them like royals. "My name is President Amanda Prime. I am the leader of this planet, with my well-trusted friend, General Jeremy Prime, as the leader of the army of primes. What can the two of us do to help the Corps? Said the woman. I need you to give me control of your 5,000 prime army, said Douglas. We don't have an army of that size, replied General Jeremy. Perhaps not, but you have the population of 5,000 primes, said Douglas. Just because every prime has been trained to fight does not mean they are part of our army, said General Jeremy, with anger in his voice. I understand that, so you can be in second command of them, yet you report to me. We need everyone allied to the Corps and its cause to defeat the regime, said Douglas. Everyone in the universe has heard of the regime, and I am not allowing my general to give the okay to send my people to engage in a war you will not win, said President Amanda. Please, without your support, there will be no way we will win the war, said Douglas. My allegiance is to Halo Shadow, and I'm not betraying him, said President Amanda, showing her true nature. Amanda quickly drew a pistol from underneath her desk, aimed it at the one of Rare and True Blood, and, before she could pull the trigger, was shot in the head. Everyone in the room looked to see Devin with his blaster rifle in his hands and smoke steaming from the barrel end of his rifle. The police primes in the room were stunned at the fact their leader had joined the regime in secret and looked at General Jeremy as their new leader. I guess you're the leader of the primes, said Chad. Yes, what are you going to do with that power? Asked Douglas. You really think we can end the regime? Asked Jeremy. Yes, but only if you give your army to me, answered Douglas. General Jeremy walked over to Amanda's corpse, looked at her touchscreen desk, and held down a button with a speaker next to it. All primes, please listen. This is General Jeremy. President Amanda turned to the regime, and I have taken command of this planet. I am ordering everyone to take the train to the capital city for free to prepare to leave for war. Those that are 12 years old and younger may remain here. Those that are 60 years old and older may remain here, said Jeremy, using the broadcasting network system that was wired over the entire planet. Thank you, Jeremy, said Douglas. I just hope it will be enough to win the war, said Jeremy. Location, Lambda. Optimus, are you and your team ready to move out, Asgard? Inside of the Corps base. Ready to roll, sir, answered Optimus Prime. Your mission is simple. Locate the machine that is in the ruins of my laboratory, where I built it before the Great War, said the secretive man working with the Corps. Optimus transformed into a truck. Bumblebee transformed into a Camaro. Arcee transformed into a bike. Ratchet transformed into an ambulance. And Ironhide transformed into a Jeep. Team Bravo, roll out, said Optimus. Team Bravo drove out of the underground base, through a secret road in the base, and began the hunt for the relic. I pray they find it first before my evil creations do, said the secretive man. Location, the STC-40. As the Corps fleet of 7,000 troops entered Sector 3 from passing the south side of the planet Core Cloud, General Jeremy Prime, which was on board Juno Alpha's ship, saw the planet Lambda. Are you really going to wage war on that destroyed planet? Asked General Jeremy. We don't have much of a choice. We have safely secured several other relics, and Lambda has the last one, the Alpha Lock. We need it so I can slay Halo and end this war once and for all, replied Douglas. We'll be at Lambda in 1 minute, said Devon. Patch me through to the entire fleet, please, Brittany, said Douglas. Done, replied Brittany. All Corps forces and ships follow my lead into the Corps underground base hangar, said Douglas. We have arrived, said Devon, as Douglas ended the message to his fleet. Una Alpha looked to see the destroyed machine planet and realized God was right when he said it was nothing but a wasteland. Soon after, the Corps fleet left outer space and began descending into hover mode towards the base. Look! Yelled Amy. Una Alpha looked out of the glass window of the command bridge to see 5 gigantic transformers walking towards the entrance of the Corps base. That must be Team Bravo returning from the search of the machine, said Douglas. I have a visual on the base's entrance, said Devon. Great work. Inform the fleet to start landing. We will enter last, said Douglas, leaving the command bridge. Done, replied Devon. Oh, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. Oh, get a box of tissue, guys. Get a box of tissue. Where are you going? Asked Chad. I'm placing the Book of Power and the 6 relic keys in a backpack so we can find out from God what's next, said Douglas. The circular entrance opened, and ship by ship, the core fleet landed in the base. While the core fleet landed, and Douglas placed the 7 relics that were in the armory in a backpack, Team Doom looked at the enemy forces massing together. Jackpot, yelled Dreadwing. Shut up, Dreadwing, yelled Megatron, but not as loud. Sorry, just happy. We have just located the core base on this planet, said Dreadwing. We are all happy, but try not to announce it to the universe, said Shockwave. Okay, said Dreadwing. Megatron, are you ready to unleash hell? Asked Shockwave. Ready to kill, answered Megatron. Then use the machine we found in the ruins of a laboratory, said Shockwave. Megatron lifted his hand, which had a gigantic hand cannon mounted onto his hand, aimed the machine at a core ship, and fired. The cannon bullet fired from the barrel and headed towards the core ship. As the last of the core ships entered the base, Optimus turned around to see Team Doom. Ironhide, Shockwave and his friends have found the machine, yelled Optimus Prime, seeing Megatron with the machine mounted on his hand. Optimus, Ironhide, Arcee, Bumblebee, and Ratchet watched as Megatron fired the machine and it headed towards space. Douglas, we're the last ship, said Devon, using the speakers on the STC-40. Suddenly, the cannon from the machine impacted the STC-40. Team Doom and Team Bravo watched as the core ship carrying Unit Alpha began crashing in a spin towards the ground. Devon, do something, yelled Douglas using the speakers. I can't. We have been hit so hard we have a hole that is on both sides of the ship, said Devon. What are you saying? Asked Amy on the command bridge. Amy, this ship is going down hard, and there's nothing we can do, said Douglas, still in the armory. Brace yourselves, exclaimed Chad, seeing the ground getting closer towards them. The STC-40 impacted the ground in its spin motion, ending its spinning motion after being on the ground for 30 seconds, and crashed into a field of rocks head-on. As the smoke cleared from the area, Douglas looked around to see the PAL was destroyed, yet the backpack full of relics remained untouched. The one of Rare and True Blood cautiously traveled through the ship and headed for the command bridge. After walking over fallen doors and spark plugs hanging from the ceiling, the leader of Unit Alpha looked at the entrance to the command bridge to see a raging fire going out of control. Douglas dashed into the room and saw Brittany trapped in a corner by walls and fire, getting closer to her. Douglas, help me, said Brittany. Douglas looked around to find something to help, but was knocked out onto the floor when a rock crashed upon his head from the open ceiling. Brittany screamed and screamed for several seconds, hoping to get someone's help, but none came. After 5 seconds, Douglas awoke to watch from the floor Brittany be literally burned to death. Brittany's screams were so loud that Team Bravo and Team Doom could hear her from a mile away. As Douglas recovered from being taken out, Douglas cried for not being able to save Brittany Lewis. Douglas even began to cry harder and screamed loudly when he saw his younger brother's body with a steel pole running through his chest near his heart. Douglas could not pull himself together when the other members of Unit Alpha and Jeremy Prime awoke from being knocked out from the crash and tried to help him. Douglas, there's nothing you could have done for Brittany or Devon, said Amy, trying to comfort her husband. I never thought they would die before me, said Douglas, in sadness and anger. As Douglas continued to weep, Team Bravo reached the wreckage site of the destroyed STC-40. Optimus ripped open the side of the ship to see the other core members. My name is Optimus Prime, said the leader of Team Bravo. Great to meet you all. I'm Douglas Armstrong, said the leader of Unit Alpha and commander of the Corps, with everyone on his ship meeting Optimus, Ironhide, Ratchet, Arcee, and Bumblebee for the first time. Douglas, we need to leave this area and get back to base. Megatron used the machine to take out your ship, and the rest of Team Doom will be here soon, said Optimus. Of course, but I'm not leaving my brother's remains in this ship, said Douglas. Suddenly, a cannonbolt impacted the ground near the core forces, but missed them all. RC used her high-tech binoculars to see Team Doom. They are here, said RC. Optimus, give us covering fire while we get to the base. We will drag Devon's body across the machine-like ground to the base, said Douglas. Consider it done, said Optimus. Unit Alpha of 6 members and Jeremy Prime worked together to lift the body of Devon out of the pole and began dragging his body towards the core base. Both good and evil Transformers took cover behind gigantic boulders and began firing cannons and missiles at their enemy. Explosions impacted the ground around Unit Alpha and Jeremy Prime and nearly killed them. Dust clouds were everywhere, making it very difficult to see the way to the underground base. Faster, Douglas, said Ironhide. Unit Alpha and Jeremy continued to drag Devon's body while more explosions took place. Rocks and walls from destroyed buildings began crashing down around them from being hit by a cannon or missile, resulting in the constant change in direction to reach the base. After dashing and dragging around for several minutes, Unit Alpha and Jeremy reached the pit entrance to the base and looked at Team Bravo, barely holding off Team Doom. Optimus, retreat! Yelled Douglas. Optimus signaled his friends to fall back to the base while still firing at the evil Transformers. Dreadwing, transform and bomb those core forces before they retreat into their base, ordered Shockwave. Dreadwing transformed into his bomber mode, blasted towards the core forces, and armed his bombs. Optimus, Dreadwing is inbound, said Ratchet, as Team Bravo ran towards Unit Alpha that was waiting for them on the platform to enter the base. RC, take him out, said Optimus. The tiny blue transformer that had the ability to transform into a bike began firing her blue-colored machine bullets at the flying target, but missed every time. As Team Bravo walked on the platform that was to be lowered to enter the base, Dreadwing detached his bombs from his belly and returned to the rest of Team Doom. Goodbye, Optimus Prime, said Shockwave, watching the bombs being dropped. Just as Douglas activated the lift to lower the platform with his team and Team Bravo on it, the bombs reached their targets. However, 2 seconds before the bombs impacted the pin entrance to the core base, a bright light flashed on the platform. You killed them, Dreadwing, said Starscream as his friend returned from his bomb run. No, he didn't. Douglas used his powers to survive the attack, said Shockwave. What now? Asked Knockout. Let's get Halo's desired weapon, the machine, back to base and inform him of the core army on Lambda, said Shockwave. Ooh, sorry. Location, core, underground base. That was a close call to use your teleportation powers, said Chad. Unit Alpha, Jeremy Prime, and Team Bravo looked above them to see the sealed entrance to the base, and below them the platform with markings from the bomb blasts. Welcome to Lambda, said a familiar voice, that of God. The core forces looked to see God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you, yet Brittany Lewis was burned to death, and here is Devon's body. This war is getting me mad. Why did you have to involve me in this conflict and bring my friends and family into it? Why did the planet Earth have to be destroyed? Why did you make Phil Abbey, Paul Woodson, and Dale Keller Techacliffs and let them die? Why was the STC-40 destroyed and have Brittany and Devon killed, said Douglas, hating the fact the war was taking so many lives. Douglas, your answer lies with our allies, said Jesus, pointing towards a man talking with the good Transformers. The man saw the core leaders looking at him, and to end the staring, he walked over to them. Welcome, Unit Alpha, said the unknown man, shaking everyone's hands and seeing Devon's body on the ground. I am the secretive man that has been helping the core with your Halo, Shadow, Team Doom, and Relic collecting problems, said the man. Who are you? Asked Douglas. I am the #1 reason Earth was destroyed. I am the cause for Phil, Paul, Dale, Brittany, and Devon being killed. I am the reason the STC-40 is no more. I am really the person that brought you and your friends and family into this war. I needed you, Douglas Armstrong, to help end evil forever. said the man. "What is your name?" asked Douglas. "My name is Nathan Lasky, and I'm the one responsible for this great war," said the man. Unit Alpha realized that the one man they had been hoping to talk with about several issues was standing in front of them. And that's going to end part 1, guys. Look forward to part 2 coming out very soon.